The Sandy and Toddcast is a Mind Garden Media podcast in association with
Screw You, Todd
Productions. Oh my gosh, here we are.
Getting down to that. I love that song.
You say that every time.
Because I do. It's Thirsty Thursday.
Hello, I love that.
Hello.
To it. I really get into that tune.
I do. I get into it. I'm like dancing and look at the party lights tonight. It's Thirsty Thursday, so it's all three colors at once. Hi, Vicky. All three colors at once.
All three colors at once.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Thirsty Thursday, which means a couple of things. We're going to have a bunch of people on the broadcast with us tonight, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
A couple are our usual characters, and then we have a special guest with us tonight, and all three of them are actually characters. So this should be a really fun night.
Here's the thing. You've just met Tammy, my cousin. She totally fits, doesn't she?
She does, and I love her. She's just so cool. Hi, Dawn. Thank you for coming in. Yeah.
So we got some stuff we want to take care of right off the bat before we bring in the clan. Later on, we're going to play match game and actually have prizes for people tonight.
Yeah. Yes,
right?
We have prizes. Yep.
So I want to take a moment and thank Victoria for her time with us on Tarot Tuesday. And she was incredible. I
don't think that I have met in the woo-woo community a person who is, between her and Eric, they are both such genuine, kind-hearted, honest, real people, both of them. And it's just amazing to meet people like that. And we were chatting the other day about how you just want to surround yourself with good people. Yeah. And they are good people, Eric and Victoria. So a huge thank you to both of them for helping us out. And they will be back. They will be back.
I want to say something really quickly about, and I hope you don't mind, but a friend of yours got a reading from her. And actually, your friend had to run off real quick, right?
Yes. Yes.
But the reading was spot on.
Without a doubt. It was weird. My friend is a volunteer EMT. And she started watching with us and she got a call, so she had to leave. So we were talking later that night and she said, oh, I missed it because I told her we had done a card for her. And I told her what happened. I said, go back and listen to it because when Victoria pulled her card, well, actually, I think it was before she pulled the card. She immediately said, I don't know the question, but the answer is yes.
Right. I remember like a resounding yes. Yes.
And so my friend says to me afterwards, she goes, I don't know how she did that, but it was a yes or no question. And she knew exactly. Her whole reading for me was spot on, she said. And I love that. And it made her feel better too. The question and what Victoria talked about made her feel better at the end. And isn't that what it's all about? To give you some kind of answers and closure. That's what it's all about. So really great story.
And she's got a great daily podcast. You should check it out on Anchor and Spotify. Mystic Karma by Victoria. She does a daily vibes. It's awesome. So big thanks to her. Now we've got a busy week.
Unbelievably busy week. We are insane. We're doing 4 live casts next week. 4 live casts. We're going to kick it off on Sunday.
Right.
With Sunday Fun Day. And Todd, tell us about our special guest on Sunday.
So this is kind of ironic because I didn't realize this was going to happen, but David Williams will be joining us. And David is a guy that I've investigated with in the past. In fact, it showed up on my Facebook memories that he and I did our very first investigation today, 9 years ago.
That's crazy.
And so really looking forward to sharing his story because he's an investigator who had a very bad experience.
Yeah.
And he's going to tell you how the investigation went, what happened to him, and also how it subsequently changed his life forever.
It's not always just people sometimes people go into paranormal investigation thinking, oh, it's going to be so much fun, it's going to be so exciting, but then unexpected things happen to you that aren't maybe so much fun or so exciting in that way. So that's David has a story to share with us, so it should be a really, really interesting, intriguing, and thought-provoking Sunday fun day.
Actually reached out to him a couple of weeks ago when we needed some help on an investigation. He kind of said, I don't really do it anymore.
Yeah.
So we got him coming up on Sunday. Then season 2, episode 1 of the Sandy and Toddcast podcast is released on Sunday afternoon too.
I am so excited. I'm calling them audio casts. These are our live casts, and then we're doing audio casts.
Okay.
So that's going to be our season 2, episode 1. It drops on Sunday. It's part 1 of our Dennis Webster interview, and it's just amazing. And we've made so many cool changes between season 1 and season 2. You're going to tell from the very first note of the podcast on Sunday, you're going to be able to tell the difference. It's going to be so great. Good evening, Betsy. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. So that drops. You can find it anywhere that you find your podcasts, all over the place. We're everywhere. You can even find it right on our Facebook page, The Sandy and Toddcast. We put a copy up there, and you should also make sure that you join our new group, the Stay Weirdos, Friends of the Sandy and Toddcast, because we have almost 100 members already, and it's so much fun. Yeah,
100 weirdos all together.
100 weirdos all together, just talking about all kinds of fun stuff. So, and it's, you know what it is? It's a platform, a non-judgmental platform. People from all walks of life, from everywhere, with every kind of life experience, can come together and talk with no judgment.
Tuesday, we're doing something a little different on Tuesday. Normally we do Tarot Tuesdays, and Tuesday we are actually going to be doing a Twisted Tuesday.
Yes, and that's going to be fun.
I love that because here's what we're going to talk about. Recently, I was put in touch with a gentleman in Texas who felt that he and his family were being attacked by an evil entity.
Right.
And so I had an opportunity to speak with him and get some visual evidence from him and kind of talk him through the process of what was going on down there. He's allowed us to share that information and that audio. So coming up, Jason. So coming up on Tuesday, on a Twisted Tuesday, we're going to share the audio and the story he tells about what his family's going through.
And we'll talk about it a little bit, give our thoughts on it, our take on it, and we would love to hear your thoughts and your opinions on it as well. What you think may be going on. I've only looked at some of the pictures and heard a very small piece of audio so far, so it'll be as much a surprise to me as to anyone else, but I have some ideas of what may be going on, but not sure yet. So it'll be a really great night. That's Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And then Wednesday, we don't want to get rid of the tarot and the intuitive side of things. So we're doing a woo-woo Wednesday. And this week, our guest reader is Sudie Crouch, who's on with us tonight. Thanks for joining in, Thank you,
Sudie. Appreciate that.
So excited for Woo-Woo Wednesday. That's great.
She's all about a little woo-woo. So that'll be coming up on Wednesday. That'll be a lot of fun. Again, she fits our vibe very, very well.
Yep.
And then Thursday, another Thirsty Thursday, a cast of the same people and hopefully a guest will play match, game, and drink. So, by the way, before we bring everybody out, let's have just a little toast to each other. Here's to season 2. Yeah, let's do season 2. Up your old day. Oh!
Look!
Nice.
Michael Myers, how cool is that? Up yours.
No, it's just up your old address. It's not up yours.
Oh, well, up yours, Todd.
Speaking of up yours, ladies and gentlemen, the queen of the cat box, Lisa Hale, joins us tonight. Lisa, yes. Queen of the cat box. Well, it's the best I could come up with at the moment. How you doing tonight, doll?
Pretty good. How are you doing, handsome?
Looking pretty beautiful tonight.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because I really don't.
Maybe we've had enough to drink already. I'm not sure. It could be that.
That's probably it for you guys.
No, I think the color you're wearing is a good color on you.
Yeah, very pretty. And
I love purple.
And the lights in the background.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I'm a purple fanatic, and I was feeling good today. I've been doing a lot of writing, so it was just like, maybe that's why I look good. Who knows?
And you're unleaded tonight, Lisa, because tomorrow you have
2 finals and a paper that is due. And I'm still writing the paper because it's a group project, and the group members,
I think it'd be funnier if the project went from here before the podcast, then you drank, and it kind of went like that.
That's exactly what would happen.
My name is Lisa. Let me tell you how this is going to go.
Let me tell you how your marketing should go.
Yeah, that's the face of somebody you want to trust with your marketing.
I know, right?
Speaking of somebody's face that you trust, not Bartender Bill is here tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay! Bill, you can hear us tonight.
I can.
That's fantastic. Tell us what you've got for us tonight. And you know what's funny is I made a graphic and I kept calling you Non-Bartender Bill. I don't know why.
I'm not, I'm non, I'm every non, I'm nothing.
You're not Bartender Bill. So glad you're back. Tell us what you've got for us tonight.
We're doing very simple with tequila tonight.
Tequila.
The drink of Mexico.
All right.
I call it tequila.
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 Remember Tequila? She was on, was it MTV? She was on Tequila. You don't remember her?
No. Anybody?
She was one of those non-celebrity celebrities. You know what I mean?
That'd be right up my alley. But
exactly.
Ooh, there you go. I love that.
Yes, very nice.
Tequila, Bill, tequila floor. Hey. All right.
Bill and I went rum tasting in San Juan. And
how many good stories start with that line? Bill and I went rum tasting. And
it was fun, too. We missed it the first time. We had to go back. And it's like this it's down like this side street. So funny. Down this side street. And it was sort of like just like a door. There was no advertising or anything. It was just like a little door you go in.
To a building. Can you believe it?
But it was like, it was so nondescript. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, should we be going in this thing? I don't know what's going to happen in here. It was a hole in the wall.
For the tequila. Is the tequila
it was a hole in the wall, but supposedly a top attraction in San Juan.
I know. It was a top attraction after we left, but it was boom. It was fun. Bill, look.
I saw. That's pretty amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
And you saw mine, right, Reagan?
I did. I did.
Mine is
look at it.
I have to tell you guys, they are creepy. And I have to tell you guys, Sandy, you shared it on the Stay Weirdos page, those garden gnomes.
Oh my gosh.
John ordered them.
Get out, really?
I'm serious. I will have a Reagan garden gnome, a Michael Myers garden gnome, a Jason or Freddy. The only one we have to hide is Sid Haig from House of a Thousand Corpses. We're going to hide that one because Todd will never come over if the clown one is in my yard.
I love that. You have to take lots of pictures and share them.
Here's the thing. I'm not stopping over at your house whether there's a clown or not. You got a crazy freaking house. All right.
Here we go.
Tonight. Here's our normal crew. Thank you guys for being here. We love you very much. We're glad you're with us. Special guest this week is somebody I've known my whole life. Well, not quite, because she's a little bit younger than me. But I grew up laughing my ass off with her when we were very, very, very young. And we've kind of stayed in touch on and off. And a couple of years ago, I don't know, like a handful of years ago, I'm doing a live broadcast for a radio station. And all of a sudden, this girl comes up with this guy. And it turns out to be my cousin and her dad, my other cousin by marriage. And I'm like, holy shit. I hadn't seen them in like 30 some years or more.
Wow.
And there they were. So ladies and gentlemen, I have to be careful not to call her by her maiden name because that's how I know her. Ladies and gentlemen, my cousin Tammy Frederick.
Yay!
And it would be okay if you called me by my maiden name too. That's all right.
Listen, I got the memo on that. Don't you dare call me by my maiden name.
I own it. It's a thing. It's all right.
Well, we were talking off the air. Tammy and I do go way back, and there's going to be plenty of stories of do you remember when? But the problem is I have a shitty memory now, so I don't remember much.
He's
I re-
gotten old.
Yes.
I remember two things about our time. Well, a couple of things. First of all, like we were just inseparable when we were little,
Yeah,
like kind of ridiculously.
it was.
I think at one point,
remember, like really, one of my favorite places to go was over to your house because I knew I was going to have a good time every time.
hey baby. But I think at one point I actually told my mom that I was going to marry you at one point. I think that's and then shit went downhill really fast after that. There were two
Hey,
specific.
listen, marrying your cousins is fine for the royal family. It's all
Right.
right. It's
Yeah.
all right.
So
Or
there's-
Maury. It's fine for Maury.
that's right. You
That's
are
all
the
right.
father.
No judgment. No judgment.
So there's two
Kind of
specific times I
standard
remember.
operating procedure in Louisiana.
Well, see? That's very sweet.
Two specific times I remember. The first one is at Christmas time, your family had a Santa that hung on the wall and you pressed the
Yeah.
nose and it went, ho, 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 right?
I still
we would
have
press
that.
it.
It doesn't work, but I still have it.
What? Come on.
I know,
Where
I
is
think
this? Lisa's
The
on
music
tonight.
box broke. Hey,
Lisa's on. Another
Cousin
relative
love.
of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Great.
Well, I don't care if the music box works. I want to see how scary he looks now. But you would press the button and there'd be a little song or something. And we would sit for hours and press it and
Yeah.
laugh our asses off. And I remember, like, your parents thought it was really cute. My parents were like, I'm going to beat your ass when we get home.
So what I remember is going to your house and laughing about nothing at all and
Correct.
getting the giggles. We could not stop laughing. I
Aw.
couldn't stop. So the reverse was true. Your parents may have thought that was cute, and my parents were doing the I'm going to kick your ass when you get home.
Gotcha. And then the other time I remember it was, I think, Christmas, and all the cousins were over. You guys were there, and Butch's kids were there and stuff like that. And we were down in the basement, and I was talking about Grandpa. And it was the first time I realized that my grandpa was actually your great grandpa.
Yeah.
It was like a
Uh-huh.
mind-blowing experience because
Right.
your mom was actually my cousin. You're my second cousin, even though we're closer in age. So
Yeah.
I remember that very specifically. I was like, huh? How can that be possible?
Huh?
So, and she's joining us tonight, first of all, because she's got my sense of humor.
Oh Lord, we're in
It's a
trouble.
family trait.
Uh-oh.
And she
Can't
likes
hold all this goodness back. It's got to
and she
come
likes
out.
and she likes to drink. So that's the other thing.
You know.
And
We're gonna be
she's got some great woo-woo stories tonight. So we're gonna get to that a little bit
Yes.
later on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
and
Thanks for
later on,
having me. I'm
Absolutely.
really
Thank
excited.
you
We're
for
glad you're
coming
here.
on.
you look great. You look
Thanks.
great. Hate you for it. Now, why don't we dip right into the drink of the week there,
Yes.
not our tender Bill.
All righty. I'm happy to do it. First
Yeah.
of all, I got a little follow-up from last week. Remember I was talking about finding interesting rum?
Yes.
So you may also remember I used the last of my rum last week, so I had to go buy more.
Of course you did.
They still had the same one here. And I remember when I bought the first one, the guy behind the counter knew nothing about it. That wasn't helpful. I bought this one and a different guy behind the counter. I said, I really liked this one last time. Well, he knew all about it. He told me that was his favorite and that I was making a great choice. I said, I liked that it's from the Philippines. He said, interesting story. Rum was invented in the Philippines. And he told me all about it. Yeah, no. I went and looked it up.
It's like, what? Silence, crickets.
It was invented in Barbados in the West Indies. Okay? So don't necessarily listen to the guy behind the liquor counter.
Yeah, I just want to mention something, and that is, did anybody notice the door behind him open
Yes.
up while he was talking?
Bill,
You either
why
have a
did
ghost
your-
or your doggy's there.
Is your dog with you?
That's either the dog or the cat or the daughter. I don't know which. I didn't
Gotcha.
notice.
I think it's slowly opening again.
It's got to be a cat.
Okay.
Okay, so tequila. It's a little harder to find interesting tequila, but here's a trick. Take a look at how your store stocks the shelves. I was looking at mine yesterday when I was picking up a new tequila, and I noticed that they put the cheap stuff on the bottom shelf,
Mhm.
the middle grade stuff on the middle shelf, and the expensive stuff on the top shelf, right?
Right.
So when you see that, you can focus in on what's on the middle shelf. Don't
Mhm.
buy the cheap stuff, okay? You'll regret it. So I pick this one fairly often, Camarena. And one of the reasons I pick it is I do find this when I'm traveling and at bars who seem to offer a decent upgrade from well tequila. So that's a sample of what I would choose.
Okay.
What we're going to do tonight is what I call a go-to drink. Sandy was nice enough to give it a name. What did we call it?
Tequila won't kill you.
Okay, don't try to order that at the bar, okay? You can make that at home. But at the bar, it's just cranberry and tequila. It's easy to order in a loud place. You can usually get it through to the bartender, and they make it super fast, and it's a simple, easy drink. So,
Yes, I am cheerleading. Thank you very much.
if you didn't know, the reason these shot glasses exist is they're supposed to be the standard measure of 1.5 ounces of liquor. So, don't bother using them. And then what I'm going to do tonight is I'm just going to show you what we do. We put a little tequila in and some cranberry juice.
Is it diet? I use the diet.
All right, but hold on. Right. So
Is that
normally
the diet? I always use the diet. Make it a double.
in a typical size highball glass or similar, you're going to get about this much, right? And if it's not diet cranberry, then you're still getting not too much sugar, which is pretty good. But since it's diet, I can fill it up, which is nice.
That just waters down the tequila.
You can fix that. In case it wasn't obvious. But the other reason I do this, and I'll ask a bartender to extend it in a taller glass, is so I can drink longer and not get drunk when I'm out.
There you go.
See?
All right. At home,
That's a pro
I'll go
tip.
ahead and I'll double it. Sandy is an expert at doubling the drinks.
Yes.
And
Five.
and like last week, if it's not diet and you're sensitive to the sugar, just use club soda to extend the drink. Now I'm going to do it again.
Oh, good.
Yes. Yep. It's a twofer. So I've got a regular size glass right here.
You know what I gotta get? I gotta get like piano tinkling music in the background, like a piano bar
I
kind of thing.
know.
I gotta work on that for next week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to quite fill it up this time because I have a guest drink to show you.
This guy's got
Just
everything
like
going
last
on.
week, I'm going to throw another juice in, some orange juice.
Now that I would drink. Because I'm not much of a tequila drinker, but I would do that. That looks really good.
Okay. Now we're going to get a little fancy. I'm going to stir this first. Because what I have here is something called
Is that
grenadine.
grenadine?
Grenadine, yeah.
It's a little sweet red liqueur. And if you don't have this, you might have maraschino cherries in the fridge.
Mhm.
Just use the juice from that, right?
Mhm.
And what we're going to do with this is we're going to float a little on the top.
Look at that.
You need to come visit me.
Good.
Just slow
It
pour.
really does look great.
There should be more orange in this. I should have put more orange juice in
Right.
it.
Because you
But
were
you
making
know
a
what this
tequila
is called?
sunrise, right?
It is a
Tequila
tequila
sunrise,
sunrise.
yeah.
Very good.
baby.
Winner.
No points for that, Lisa. You do not get any points for that. I'm the only one that allows points
Aw.
being given on the show.
Oh, man. But I knew what a tequila sunrise was.
I'm so surprised.
Those
Those
Cheers.
look great.
They look fantastic. I
Come
would try
visit
some
me.
tequila. I know, right?
Really quick toast, everybody, real quick with Bill. Thank you, Bill.
Thank
Everybody?
you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. Thank you.
Thanks.
Not bartender Bill, guys.
Gotta love him.
So now we're gonna dig into some ghost stories.
Yes.
Well, Tammy, when did you start having experiences, whether you're talking about paranormal or like woo-woo kind of stuff?
I knew you were going to ask me that, so I really spent some time thinking about it.
Yep, because you read my mind, I'm sure, and you knew it was that cousin connection.
It probably was. So when I thought back, the first time that I think I heard someone calling me was after my grandma died.
Mhm.
And I was in my friend's house, was a couple doors down from where I lived, and I wasn't allowed to be in her house unless my mom knew, and I didn't tell her that's what I was doing, and so I would get in trouble. So we decided we wanted to play inside, but we kept the window open so I could hear. So I heard someone calling me, and I thought, that it's my mom. I gotta go, and I'm little, like somewhere between 5 and 7,
Right.
Mhm.
and so I run home. Mom, you called? She said, I didn't call you. Go outside and play. That was back in the day when you could send your kids outside and not come home till dinner, right?
Yep.
Right.
And they would just come home when you call. So go back to the friend's house, sneak in. We're playing in her room. Same thing. I hear it again. She doesn't hear it, but I hear it. And it sounds like my mom. It's her voice that I'm hearing. So I run home again and Mom, you called? And she said, I didn't call you. If you come back in here again, you're going to be in trouble, right?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I went back to the friend's house and I said, my mom keeps telling me she's not calling me. And my friend is actually the one who said, maybe it's your grandma calling you. And she's a year older than me. So she was still pretty little too. So I think that
Mhm.
was my first real experience that I can remember anyway.
Did you, here's an interesting question, and this is kind of an inside story, but it is interesting. Do you remember going to the funeral of your grandmother?
Because my grandma and my great grandma died, I feel like they were kind of close together, or it might just be mushed that way in my memory. Gaga. Did you call her? Did you call her Gaga?
On your mom's side?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It was my mom's grandma.
Okay, so that would, unless that was a different.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know, because your great
maybe that was my mom's mother, right? Her grandma on her mom's side, it might have been.
Could have been, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
yeah.
we're related on my mom's dad's side.
Correct.
Yeah.
It was just the reason why I bring it up is because I know that we were young, but I kind of distinctly remember going to the funeral, and my sister and I have discussed it before, and it was just a really strange experience for both of us. And I wanted to ask you if you actually remember going to that at all.
I know there was one funeral where they didn't let us kids go. We were all
because you were misbehaving all the time. That's why.
Mean, probably. But there were also a lot of, that happened a lot too.
Oh my God, so many
kids.
There
were so many of us that, and I feel like because my grandma you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Yep.
She died very unexpectedly, and she was young. She was like in her early 50s.
Right.
And so I feel like it was so traumatic for her kids. So my mom and her siblings, that they just couldn't manage having all of us, underfoot. So I think we actually were being babysat at one of my aunt's houses by, an uncle or, someone who had married into the family. I don't think we were there.
Gotcha. So that was so you were really young when you were having your first. Now, did you at that point, and it's kind of young to do it, but did you go, hey, I wonder if this is something, or were you just a kid going, nothing?
It actually kind of freaked me out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why would my grandma be calling me? She's dead. That was weird to me. And I grew up in a very religious family. So ghosts and spirits and that was very, just verboten. It wasn't.
Were you Catholic growing up?
We were until I think I was maybe 10 or 12. And then we switched religions to Seventh-day Adventist, which is even more strict in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And it was, like the dead are just dead, right? There's no such thing as ghosts. So I like just shoved that shit way down for a long time.
Like we all do.
Way down. Yeah. And it actually, this whole woo-woo stuff is still kind of, I feel like I'm still kind of, new and kind of tiptoeing around because of that. When I have 2 girls and they used to tell me stuff. Yeah.
2 kids?
And they're grown. They're all grown and out of the house. So they used to say things to me like, hey, Mom, we had moved into this old house, upper flat. And they would say things like, Mom, in the middle of the night, this man was standing in the door. And I just shut that right off. No, that never happened. I don't know what you think you saw, but that's not what it was. There's no such thing as this ghost. You're just freaking yourself out. Just knock it off. And so I just squelched it. And it wasn't until I had my own experience, which was not a great one, actually, where then I was really like, oh, maybe they did see what they saw.
Did you have the experience there? Was it at that same location?
Different house. Yeah. So sorry if you keep hearing a notification. I don't know how to turn it off. So
that's our age group. That's our age
now
group.
And then I don't know how to turn it off. Now it's my email popping, and I don't know how to. Because I think if I turn it off, I'll turn my speakers off. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. Let me see.
If you stop the email, the toaster won't work tomorrow morning. That's like old person talk right there is exactly what it is.
I know. I don't know how to do it. So sorry,
what was your first ghost experience or your first paranormal experience?
Man, so this is actually, it's really a long one. I'll just shorten it up, but it actually does. It transcends multiple episodes and it's multi-continental even. It was kind of a big deal. I don't know how I can shorten it. It really started, my dad's family comes from a little town in Germany, and my brother and his family and my dad and his wife, myself and my youngest daughter went on a family genealogy kind of vacation. It turned into a 2.5 week European vacation. It was kind of like the Griswolds, except worse because it was real life and it was the Beckers. So it was pretty wild, but we found the town where my dad's family came from. There are 3 siblings that immigrated at the same time, 2 brothers and a sister. My dad grew up on one of the homesteads that one of the brothers settled at. The other is a neighboring farm where his uncle was. So he kind of grew up on both these farms. And then the sister just kind of, who knows where she went, right? So we have really strong roots with these people who immigrated here. So we go there and we're checking things out. And we find the house where they last lived before they moved to Wisconsin, which was super cool. And I because I'm an introvert and I need a lot of time by myself. I know, it's weird. It's true. I can be, fun and big, but then I got to shut it down for a long time. So I knew that days are busy. My brother's kids were 5 and 7 or 8. My dad was 65. There's a 60-year age difference between, everyone in between. And so I thought, I'm just going to get up early and have a cup of coffee before the whole family comes down for breakfast. And this hotel, it was the only hotel in this little village, they just their garden was just maybe a year old or so. And I love flowers and plants and gardening. So that is that's a safe place for me, right? So I take my cup of coffee and I'm wandering around in this garden, looking at all their plants. And all of a sudden I am crying. And I don't know why I'm crying. And I'm thinking to myself, get it together. What is your deal? You're in Europe, for God's sake. Why are you crying? What do you have to be sad about? And then I realized I'm not actually sad. I'm feeling someone's sadness, but it is not mine. These are not my tears. I don't know what's happening. And I was completely wigged out. So I, take my little coffee and back into the restaurant and I just sit there, with big saucer eyes because I don't know what's just happened. Everybody comes down. We go about our day. That night, they were having this hotel was having their first annual summer party in the garden, a garden party. Whole town is coming. It's a big deal. So my brother is very chatty and he saunters up to the bar and meets some locals, invites them over to our table. And this guy says, and his English was really pretty good. My German is really terrible, but I know a little bit, enough to get by. So he says to me, how do you like Orscheltz? And I start crying. Like it burst out of me. And my brother, who actually does look a lot like Todd, he goes, oh, Jesus, here we go. And I said in my broken German that my heart is very happy because I really did feel happy to be there. But these tears were somebody else's and they really wanted me to feel this. So I tried to shut it off and not be a complete freak. And, but that stuck with me. So when I got home, I I was unsettled. I didn't understand why I was feeling this. This is not, I know those were not my feelings. It really kind of rocked me to my core.
Mhm.
So that same homestead, I know this is a long story, and if you have to shut me
No,
off, then
no, go
please
for
do.
it. It's a good story.
Go. Yeah.
So the house that my dad grew up in, I call it my grandma's house. His youngest brother bought the farm from grandma years ago, and at some point decided the farmhouse was in such a bad state that he was just throwing good money after bad. It was a money pit. So he decided to build a new house, put his money into a new house, and then he was donating the family farmhouse to the fire department, and that was going to be the end of grandma's house. Well, before he did that, I asked if I could have some of grandma's pantry. She had a beautiful butler's pantry off the dining room. And so, long story short, he couldn't just saw a section out. He brought a bunch of doors to my house. It's like a floor to ceiling cabinet. So he brought these giant, like 4 foot tall doors. They're gorgeous. So Uncle Jim, you know my Uncle Jim, my Aunt Molly's husband.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. He's a woodworker, and he refinishes antiques and things like that. And so the year he retired, I was there at their house the day after Thanksgiving, and he was saying, "Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm retired now. I don't know what I'm going to do all winter." And I said, "Oh, Uncle Jim, I got a deal for you." And so I ran home and I got these doors, and I said, "I really would like to build a cabinet with my grandma's pantry doors." And so we did. When my uncle gave them to me, there is a flour bin door. So it's shaped different. It's the handles on top and it pulls out. They used to put a 50-pound sack of flour in that.
Right.
And I really loved it. I thought it was different, unusual. But my house was so tiny. I really wanted that door, but I didn't even know where I was going to put one cabinet. And I thought if I could really only have one, then it had to be functional. And a flour bin door is just not really functional. So we build the box for the bottom door, and I wanted it to look just like my grandma's pantry, but with drawers, because it always bothered me that she didn't have drawers to put silverware or napkins or things like that. So we added drawers in. And this is like we're working on this all winter long, right? So I go there every Saturday, or pretty much every Saturday, and we'd work on this for a few hours. And so I go there one day and he says, "Well, you have some decisions to make. It's time to put some hardware on the drawers." He pulls out this big, long card catalog drawer, and he's got odds and ends and bits all over the place. And he says, "Well, I think I've got 3 handles that match in here. There's, 3 sets." It was like Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. The first one was too industrial. The second one was too fancy. It was beautiful, but very Victorian-like. And the third one, I didn't even touch it. I just said, they're speaking to me. It has to be those. That's it. It's those. They're speaking to me. And Aunt Molly, I love her.
Yes.
But she is like no nonsense.
Right.
He said, "They're speaking to you. They're not speaking to you. They're door handles." So, well, they're kind of talking to me, and I have to have them. So I have to
I'm just telling you, Tootsie, they're talking to me.
And that's funny because her nickname is Tootsie.
That's great.
So we're doing whatever, looking at other stuff, and I see back in the corner is the flour bin door that I had decided I wasn't using because it wasn't practical, and I needed this to be a functional cabinet in my tiny little house. So I said, "Uncle Jim, I see that flour bin door over there. I really need you to bring that out here for a second. I need to look at the handle on there." And that was the only door that had a handle. The rest of them have little knobs that turn. So he pulls it out. It was an exact match to the handles that I had chosen from his little supply.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, it was right about within a few days of the 1-year anniversary of my grandma passing. So I start crying.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
My Aunt Tootsie is looking at me like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And I said, "My grandma, she sent those to you, and she Aunt Tootsie says, she did not. I knew your grandma. She did not. We picked those up at some flea market somewhere. Your grandma did not send those to me. I said, yes, she did. And she's just letting me know that she approves of this project. And Uncle Jim, now we need to make 3 cabinets because I need that smaller bin door. So now I have these beautiful, and actually, ignore the little bit of mess in my kitchen here, but if you can see,
Oh my goodness.
in the back
Oh,
there, those are
yes.
the cabinets. It's
Wow,
beautiful. And
yes.
I will forever be grateful and thankful to Uncle Jim for helping me put that together.
Oh, that's a wonderful story, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's great.
after the first so here comes the dark part. So like I told you, it was a long multi-episodes, continental story. So after the first cabinet was done, and I brought it home, in the middle of the night, I'm sleeping. I'm out cold, and I wake up because something, and I don't know how else to say it. It might sound really crazy, but this was my experience. Something was trying to get in my soul. It was absolutely trying to get in. It was very dark. It was evil, but it was trying to get in. And I woke up completely freaked out. I fell asleep a little while later, and it happened again. I was like, all right, that's it. No more sleeping. I'm getting the salt. So I put salt all along the doors. All the bedrooms were upstairs, all the doors, all the windows. My girls thought I had lost my shit. And it scared the hell out of me. A couple of nights later, it came back, but it couldn't cross the salt. And it's screaming at me. And I am aware that this is telepathic screaming. I'm not hearing it with my ears, but I am absolutely hearing it. It is screaming at the top of its lungs. It is so pissed off that it can't get to me. You're still lost. And it is screaming. Like screaming, you're still lost. And it repeated it several times. I fell back asleep. The same thing happened. It occurred to me that this might be that sad feeling that I felt. It might belong to that person or energy, entity, however you want to describe that. And I thought it might be related to my grandma who was left behind in Germany when the kids came here. She still had other kids in Germany, but these 3 in particular never went back home. And she never came here. She died a few years after they moved here. And her daughter that moved here, her name was Elizabeth. And the mom's name was also Elizabeth. So I know where her 2 sons ended up and where their families went. I didn't know where Elizabeth went. So as I'm laying there, trying not to crap myself, I said, I even said it out loud, Oma Elizabeth, if this is you got to stop, because I can't help you if you scare me. You got to stop it. I went back to sleep, never heard from her again. But I had this drive to find where Elizabeth went, the daughter Elizabeth. I could not think about anything else. It almost was like I was possessed. Like I had to know. I had to know. I did a whole bunch of research, and because my brother is really big into our family genealogy, I was able to find where she moved to. Once I knew where she went, that was it. I never had to meet her offspring. I never had to go there.
You just needed to know.
I just needed to know. Yeah. And that was it. So that was my first really adult experience that I remember being like, okay, something else is happening here.
And what did it feel like to you when this was happening? Like what?
Well, you notice she used the phrase that everybody, she uses the phrase that everybody says that I want to push out of our language.
Yeah.
And that is, I feel crazy, or this makes me sound crazy.
Yeah.
Because until we get to the point where we don't say that anymore, everybody's going to feel that way. We have to embrace that stuff. But how did you feel besides being crazy? I mean,
I was really and truly scared out of my mind. That thing wanted me. Like it wanted in my soul, not just possess my body. It wanted in my soul. That's how it felt. And that I've never felt so violated. And it didn't even get in. I remember laying there asking for, saying a prayer of protection. Please, sweet baby Jesus, please, in your white light, protect me. I don't know what this is in my house and I don't know what to do about it, but I need some help.
Right.
It really scared me. Like I've never been scared in my life.
I have the chills too. Vicky
Yeah.
said she's got the chills. I do. I have the chills.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was not a pleasant experience. I did, after that, I do on occasion, and it always happens when I'm outside, which is kind of interesting to me. Sometimes feel that sadness again. It's not been as intense as the first time, but I do pick that up sometimes. And I don't know.
Is it the same sadness, or do you think it could be coming from something else?
I think it could be coming from something else.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just how I feel if that's how I feel energy. Because I feel like I'm really kind of a baby at this stuff, right?
Mhm.
We all are. We all are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's how I feel energy. I don't know if I am vibrating in a lower place where people who are upset and sad can reach me. I don't know if it is people who just need help, right? And so I'm just at a place where maybe they think I can help them. I'm not sure, but I've felt it in different places, and not always at my house. I felt it at other people's houses. I felt it, my husband and I, when we went to Ireland for our honeymoon, I felt it there.
Mhm.
How does he respond to this?
Yeah.
Oh, good. He's at the tavern right now, Todd.
Now, wait a minute. Is he there because of what we're talking about, or because you basically told him to go to the tavern?
No, because he was like, yeah, I think I'm going to go to the tavern. I told him some of the stuff I was going to talk about, and he was like, I don't really know. I don't know if you should talk about that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. You don't really know that's what happened. You probably shouldn't talk about that.
Well, see, and that's the thing, like, the whole sadness thing. You don't know where it comes from, but have you gotten to the point where you know that it's not your feelings?
Yes, absolutely. And I knew it the first time it happened.
Wow.
Even because, I'm in this garden, this beautiful garden in Germany, this quaint little village with my warm cup of coffee and my cafe milk. And I've got, half an hour by myself. It really is. I'm having the time of my life. Right. And so I recognized that it was not, I'm crying. And I thought, what the hell is wrong with you? And right after I thought that, I realized these are not my tears.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's happening, but this is not mine. So I do, and it comes on so suddenly. It hits out of nowhere. When we went to Germany, I did pack some crystals along, and I bought this, specifically went to the store to buy crystals for protection. Because I thought the last time I went to Europe, I came home with some shit, and I'm not doing that again.
Right.
It's a cute little bag, little like velvety kind of pouch, like tuck in my bra, and don't think about it. And well, one day I forgot. I got dressed and we left for the day, and I didn't have my little pouch
in your bra. In your bra,
because that's where every girl keeps her good crystals.
I know I do.
You can't keep them in a pocket because they'll fall out, because we don't have pockets. Women don't have good pockets. So that's where you got to keep them. So it was interesting. We had stopped at it was like a roadside attraction, I'll call it. They had several famine cottages up on this hill, literally through a sheep field on a hill. And so, every day I'd wear these things and I felt nothing the whole time. Except that one day we're walking through this field and it almost stopped me dead in my tracks. It hit me. It was like I ran into a wall, and I almost started crying, and I thought, oh, I'm not doing this. So again, I asked for, a prayer of protection, and it left pretty quickly. And I was like, well, and I didn't remember that I forgot the crystals. So I thought, what the hell? These crystals are supposed to work. I want my money back. And then I realized, oh, yeah, they're back at our hotel. Yeah.
And she's doing this, trying to find her. She's trying to find her prick crystals.
That's exactly how I looked. That was exactly it.
That just shows you
one
how
of these.
important protection is.
I got to show you. And here's the thing. I know you've got tons of other stories, and I want to hear them all, but I got to show you a picture. So I asked my sisters, do we have any pictures of me and Tammy? And of course there are none, because nobody took pictures back then.
Right.
Mm-mm.
But there is a picture of me and my sisters and Santa Claus. And I'll explain how that ties into you in just a second. But here it is. I don't know the year. But there's me and my sister Vicky and my sister Dawn.
How
Dawn.
cute.
So cute.
Adorable.
Oh
Damn
my
right I
gosh.
am. Look at me. I'm just
Not you. I was talking about Dawn and
you.
Vicky.
Dawn's got something going on with her teeth there. We had to have some sort of like surgeon come in and have a take a look at those. But the guy in the Santa Claus outfit is actually Tammy's dad,
Oh my gosh. How
Yeah.
cool.
Carl.
Yeah,
So-
I feel like that was at our house. That
No,
picture looks
nope.
familiar. It's
No,
not?
it's ours because those are Mom's pillows that she made, and that deer
okay.
picture actually was still hanging in my dad's house when we moved him out this
Wow.
past
Was
year.
it really?
Wow.
Oh,
in the
wow.
basement.
Yeah, that looks
So.
familiar.
Hmm.
Yeah, our
Yeah.
family did Christmas right back in the day. Santa came and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, the ass beating stopped just for the holidays.
It was a Christmas miracle, really.
That's
Oh,
right. That
that's
was
great.
the miracle on 34th Street.
That's
Nobody talked
great.
about.
Yeah.
I do. Can we have her back at some point to talk some more ghost stories?
Maybe.
Love
Yes,
to come
please, please. I feel
would
like
love
there's a
to
lot
come
of layers to your stories, and I really want to
Yeah.
kind of dive in. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
If you'd like to
ask
come
away,
back.
ask questions. I really I told
Awesome.
Todd before, I'm really an open book for the most part. This is what happened. I don't
That's
know
great.
why, I don't know how, and I don't know how to harness this energy or tap into it or
Ever.
I can hear her saying that too.
Yeah, it's funny. Dawn and I got teeth like this, and then Vicky's were perfect. Vicky's were perfect.
That's funny. Yeah,
Well,
so I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. It just comes when it comes.
It's a
and maybe
story
someday
that
I'll figure it out.
It's a story I kind of have to sit and think about for a while. You know, I really want to think through it and kind of really think about what's going on there. It's an amazing story.
You
Yeah.
got to come back and tell the
Yeah.
story about I think it was an apartment. One of the first stories you told me was about the dark shadow kind of thing. And I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was coming after you or something like that. And
Well, I might have just told that story.
well, then you really tamed it down. Holy crap.
I might have. I'm not sure because I do have another one that's really dark too. That I mean, I don't even know if I want to talk about that because it's so dark. Yeah,
We'll get you drunk enough next time.
Yeah,
and we'll tell the
yeah,
story.
yeah.
That's the way it goes. So.
We'll see. Yeah, maybe next time. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do what we
Here we
do
go.
every week. It's
All
time
right.
for us to play a
It's
little match game. We're gonna play with Brittany Lee, also known as somebody else. There she is.
It's
Brittany.
me. I have a lot of different names.
Not Bartender Bill.
Woo woo!
Tammy the Giggle Box. And Catbox Lisa. Is your brother watching tonight?
I don't know if he is, but I hope so because that was just for him. He's been a Todd fan for years.
Well, who wouldn't be a Todd fan? I mean, good God. All right, this is what we're going to do. Our viewers are going to be able to play along, and you're going to try and match them. These are actual questions from the actual match game from back in the 70s.
Oh wow, okay.
And winners tonight will receive little prizes.
Yes.
And a little bit later on, Sandy will tell us what the prizes are. But if you
Yes.
guys are set, we're going to go ahead and play. So here's your first question. This one's another Betty White question, so be ready for this one. And when you've got your answer in, raise your hand and keep it up, damn it. Let's see. Betty White treats her husband, Alan Ludden, just like a dog. Last week, Betty took Alan to the vet to get him blanked. Betty White treats her husband, Alan Ludden, just like a dog. Last week, Betty took Alan to the vet to get him blanked. Sandy's in. Non-Bartender Bill is in. Tammy's in. Lisa's in. All right, here we go. We're going to start off with Lisa Hale, who tonight, ironically, is in the Brett Summers position.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll read it to you one more time again, Lisa. Betty White treats her husband, Alan Ludden, just like a dog. In fact, last week, Betty took Alan to the vet to get him, and we're going to choose this. Groomed. Betsy says groomed. What do you
All
say,
right.
Brett?
You know what, Betsy? That's what I originally was thinking, but I went with
Neutered. Not correct on that
Sorry.
one. Betsy's looking for groomed. What do you got there, Bill?
Yeah, I got neutered too.
Neutered. You got neutered, didn't you?
gosh.
Did you get neutered, Bill?
Many
Little
years
snip,
ago.
snip
Many
action
years
going
ago.
All right, Sandy. You're in the let's see, who would be sitting in that
Fanny
position?
flag?
No, well, sometimes. Fanny's usually on the end, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. You'd be on my end.
What do you got, Sandy?
Well, I had to join the club neutered.
Oh, that's sad. All right, Tammy, you got to make make Betsy a winner here. What do you
I
got?
didn't use a big fancy word like they did, but it means the same.
Fixed. We're gonna make Betsy a winner anyway. How's
Yes,
that sound?
that's right.
Sounds like a plan to me.
I love it.
Because
All
I
right.
would have matched her if I'd written down what I first thought.
Everybody
Oh,
else
that's
said
what they
fixed or
all
neutered
say.
too.
Yep. I thought
Go with
groomed
your
was
first-
great.
Go with your first instinct. It's always right.
All right. Next question on the match game.
Not always. I've been married twice.
I was going to say, I've been married 3 times.
I'm
Tammy, how
on number two.
Oh
I'm
my
on
God.
number 2. Yeah, and he's at the tavern. So how does that work out? I don't know. We're only on year 2. We've got a ways to go to see how this might end.
Anybody want to take
poor
a guess
Josh.
on how it ends right now on the match game?
We'll see who's the real winner.
All right.
Clearly, it's Josh.
Here's question number 2. Larry the Lush said, "I really like that new bar. It has the nicest floor I've ever blanked on." Larry the Lush said, "I really like that new bar. It has the nicest floor I've ever blanked on." Get your votes in. Raise your hand when you got yours. Tammy's in.
I'm in.
Lisa's in. Bill's in. Sandy's in. All right, here we go. I gotta grab a player here. Hold on one second. It's taking a moment to get in here. Larry the Lush said, "I really like that new bar. It has the nicest floor I've ever blanked on." Vicky says,
Very good.
"Slept." All right. I'm going to choose a different one. Sorry, Vicky. I'm going to go with Lorraine on this one.
Ah.
Damn it.
Lorraine says puked. Because she's a lady like that.
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's start off with Brett Summers. What do you got up there, Lisa? Larry the Lush said, "I really like that new bar. It's the nicest floor I've ever blanked on."
Slept on.
Well, I guess Vicky gets a point on that one, doesn't she? Sorry, Vicky. Well, I'll give her a bell. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
What do you got for an answer?
All right, Bill.
Okay, I don't puke, but I do barf.
Well, that's the thing. She got that one. Yeah. That's a match.
Buzzer.
All right, Sandy. You're gonna match. Are you gonna match Vicky?
right.
You're gonna match Lorraine.
So you know we've had this discussion about how bad I suck at this game. This one is no exception. I said tipped.
What?
You never tipped on?
What is this? A strip club or something or what? She's throwing dollar bills up on the stage.
I don't know. I don't know.
Before we get to Tammy's answer, let's have a quick drink.
Ready? With my Michael Myers tiki mug.
All right. Vicky's all happy that you matched her, Lisa. But Lorraine's looking for puked. What do you got for us, Tammy?
I've got ladylike too.
There you go.
I'm
Puke
classy
action.
like
I love
that.
it. Nice job, Lorraine. You're going to be a winner tonight.
All right.
Vicky's going to be one. I've got one more for you.
Here we go.
All right. Listen closely, Brett. This, let's see. Sarah Lee was thrown out at the Bake Off when they caught her blanking the Pillsbury Doughboy. Sarah Lee was thrown out of the Bake Off when they caught her blanking the Pillsbury Doughboy.
I don't know how to spell this.
Draw a picture.
Draw a picture.
Sarah Lee was thrown out of the bake-off when they caught her blanking the Pillsbury Doughboy.
I don't know if I want a picture.
Lisa's in, Bill's in, Timmy. Oh my God, everybody is in. All right, let's get somebody here. We're gonna go with poking tonight.
Poking.
All right, Lisa, what do you got? Sarah Lee thrown out of the bake-off when they caught her blanking the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Nice.
Poking.
Poking.
There you go. There's a winner. Bill, Sarah Lee thrown out of the bake-off when they caught her blanking the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Poking's a good answer. I said kneading.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one, too.
All right. Now, because of the fact this is the
Wait a
second
minute.
week.
Stop.
Wait.
She's already giving an excuse for her answer. I'll have a double.
No, this is the second week we played. I've never matched with anyone, but tonight I did. Needed.
There you
I
go.
matched with Bill. I matched with Bill. I didn't even match with Dawn.
Oh,
Have another drink.
Is what you get for looking while I'm writing.
All right, Tammy, what do you got?
I think Bill and I are kindred spirits. We've only just met, but this is not the first answer we met.
Wow.
Ironically, though, Betsy did say kneading, so she wins tonight, too. How's that sound?
All right, there we go. Well
We're
done.
all
Well done.
winners here.
I just want to mention that I matched both of your sisters.
That's right.
Oh.
What does that tell you?
Wow.
We need to change addresses so you can't show up at any of our houses for the holidays.
Yeah, that's it. Sure. Mhm.
That's what I thought. We're getting ready to wrap things up here on a Thirsty Thursday. It's been a lot of fun. Big thanks to my cousin
great
Tammy
night.
for
Gosh,
stopping
it
by.
was
Thank you,
so much
Tammy.
fun.
We want
Thank
you back.
you.
Come back.
I would
Yeah.
love to come back. This is so much fun.
By the way, your impression of I can only think of Tootsie. What
Yeah.
your impression is very good. Very good. You're spot on with her. I love her so much.
And I love her, but
I
she
know.
is really like no nonsense.
The whole family is,
Yeah.
for crying out loud. Absolutely.
I mean, they kind of are. If my Uncle Junior were to hear this, he would like that. I would never hear the end of it. Ever hear the
You'd
end
have
of
us
it.
laughing the entire time. Not
That
Bartender
son of a
Bill.
bitch, she's
Thanks for
talking
being-
about crazy shit. That's how that would go down.
Thanks, not Bartender Bill. Lisa, thanks for being along tonight.
Thank you guys so much for joining us again
Thank you.
tonight.
Stay,
Good night.
stay there. Don't go anywhere, you guys. We want to say goodbye later on, but first I want to say goodbye to you.
Yes, yes. What a great night this was. This was so much fun. And that story that Tammy told us, one of many, by the way, just floored me. So I have to sit and I have to think about this a little bit and let it sink in, you know?
When she was telling the story about being in Germany and just sitting there and all of a sudden starting to cry, I mean, I know that I've experienced that. I actually know my sister's experienced that, where you get that feeling and you
Yes.
just don't know what's going on.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes. It happens a lot. But at the time, though, she's very fortunate because at the time, I never understood what was going on. That's one of my goals, is to try and really learn how to separate my own feelings from those that I pick up so that
It's not easy. It's not easy to do.
It's not. So she's very fortunate. One other thing I want to mention tonight before we let you guys go is Tuesday night, Todd and I are going to be special guests on another podcast called The Paranormal Burrito. And I am just so excited about this. And we'll keep you guys posted as to when we'll be on that episode. But check them out, The Paranormal Burrito.
Here's the thing. I'm a little afraid of it because I know the paranormal. I understand a burrito, but you put the two together. I'm not sure where that goes. Like, is this thing floating around in the air or something like that?
This man should win an award just for that name, on the name alone. So we have no idea what we're in for, but Tuesday night we'll be recording that as well, right after our live cast.
Yep. Don't forget, Sunday, the new podcast comes out, the new audio cast. We've got a live cast on Sunday Fun Day with David Williams. Tuesday, we've got Twisted Tales. We'll have some fun with that. The Woo Woo Wednesday with Sudie Crouch, and another Thirsty Thursday next week. You know, listen, if we don't have another guest, maybe Tammy comes back and tells more of her story.
Sure. I would love it. I would love to see Tammy back anytime she wants to come back on. I love
if her
this
husband
too.
doesn't divorce her between now and then. So
I just have to say I love this. Look at that. Michael Myers tiki mug.
very, very cool.
I love
Have a
it.
great night. Thanks for joining us,
Good night,
everybody.
guys. Thank
Bye.
you.